Okay, this is my park that I come to. It's kind of awesome. Well, so I just want to do a quick video on the blog that I posted last night. The blog goes into at robalexanderhealth.com. Check out the site. Please subscribe down there. The blog post was about neurogenesis versus depression. I'm going to do several parts. The first one kind of talked a little bit about my story and where I came from in terms of being like just a very depressed, overweight, heavy cigarette smoking alcoholic, and not really understanding the situation that I was in. I just knew that I was kind of in survival mode, and I just spent my whole life living minute to minute, and what that really was dopamine, just using dopamine to sustain my to feel good, basically. And I didn't know a lot about the neurology at the time of what was going on, or kind of what my brain was doing. But now I've spent a really long time, and it's been 10 years since I kind of quit drinking, and slowly have rebuilt my system and rebuilt my brain from all the alcohol and things I did to destroy it. But basically it's come down to, in a certain way, you're your brain. You're a bigger version. You're an extension of your brain, your nervous system. And so neurogenesis is your brain essentially growing, and you growing as a person, which is happy. And happy is different than high. So happy is a sustainable condition. And I thought about this for a long time because I didn't used to think happy existed, because it was dualistic, and it's only understood by sadness and contrast and all these things. But in understanding the brain and looking at a brain in terms of it being like a tree, and a tree that grows, and I use some videos in the blog post to show how neurogenesis happens in the brain. But basically everything you do that makes your brain grow makes you happy, but it takes time for that thing to grow. So patience is the thing that's required in order for you to be happy. And it's the hardest lesson to learn, especially when you're in total survival mode. And I know that better than most, because I've been addicted to all these things, and I was so miserable for so long. And so I'm not making light of it or saying this is an easy process or anything. But if you understand that your brain physically shrinking or degenerating, or kind of being depressed or condensed or collapsing in on itself, that's a different view. If your physical brain is being condensed or shrinking, that's a different view of depression than some type of a psychological construct that's non-physical. So all these different things that you can do, and I'm doing some of it right now, which is stuff that I never did because I'm not intuitively drawn to nature. I'm now intellectually drawn to nature. So here I am, like, kind of doing some of the things that I've found boost neurogenesis. And in the second blog post that I'll do, it will be all about the list of things you can do. But I need people to understand that time lag, because that's the hard part, and you have to push through the minimum 3 weeks that are required, and there are things you can do in the meantime to help get you through. So you just need to, even if you're like an alcoholic, do these things while you're in your alcoholic state of being. It will, like, there's certain things you can do. The more wrong you do, the more right you got to do. So not that you can necessarily shrink and grow your brain at the same time. If you keep planting a seed and then ripping it out, it'll never grow. But at the same time, start wherever you're at. Read the blog. I hope it's helpful. It's just for the sake of trying to give people information that I didn't know. And now my whole life has become, consciously or subconsciously, this effort to stay in a state of neurogenesis, where I'm perpetually trying to keep my brain, because it keeps me, I've realized that's what sustainable happy is. I can't do highs are always met with lows and spikes and crashes, but you can just keep learning. And the nice thing is that your ego never gets too big, because if you ever learn too much in one area, all you have to do is switch gears and move on to the next topic that you may know nothing about. So anybody who kind of thinks, oh, I know too much, well, you don't know enough to know that you should try and do something you don't know how to do at all, and then you'll be humbled very, very quickly. I'm thinking about like playing instruments or learning languages or different things that I can't really do. But, if I sat down with an expert, all these things take time and I look at all these skills as just extensions of the nervous system. And I'm dissolving the boundary between what a person's brain starts and stops. So a brilliant musician, essentially the instrument becomes an extension of them. In the same way, a dancer then becomes the instrument. But somebody who is an expert in anything really that involves the higher state of knowing. In any case, long video, sorry, just noticed, get carried away. Check out the blog, send it to people that are depressed. No one should be struggling with these things, and the solutions are largely free. So check it out.